Our first speaker today, I'm very pleased to present Agnes MICHALCZYK. Agnes will be speaking about Al Khalifa projects, augmented reality, and urban art and heritage projects. She's a visual artist living and working in Cairo. She graduated from the Academy of Visual Arts in Leipzig and taught between 2012 and 2019 at the Faculty of Applied Sciences and Arts at the German University in Cairo. Her work is exploring the urban space of Cairo through female perspective, focusing on the city and its narratives, real or imagined. She has been using street art to create images interrupting and questioning the realities present in the streets of Egypt in terms of gender norms and how the design of urban spaces reflect and reinforce it. Recently, her work also explored issues of heritage and women as preservation of tradition in positive and negative sense, while exploring the potentials of using augmented reality tools to visualize the connections between the remembered, the imagined, and the real through intersecting virtual reality and action urban space. She explores the layers of experience each part of the city carries buried within.
So my name is Agnes, and I want to talk about the projects implemented in Al Khalifa area in historic Cairo. And a little bit of a background on the projects and on the area. So Al Khalifa is an area very close to the citadel in the historic core of Cairo. So it has a lot of very important historic monuments, also shrines of Sufi saints. However, it's not as visited or as known as other parts of historic Cairo, like, for instance, the Khan el Khalili area or Sharia al Muaz. And when I started working with an NGO, a local NGO called Mugawra, who's based in Al Khalifa, the very first project was the map. So you can see the little map seen from the Ibn Tulun Mosque. And the goal of this project was to give a little bit more awareness about everything that is present in the Khalifa street to the visitors who come to visit Ahmed Ibn Tulun Mosque. Ahmed Ibn Tulun Mosque is the oldest existing mosque in Cairo, and a lot of foreign and local tourists come to visit it. And the map aimed at introducing them to the area. So out of this project came two other projects, a little bit more personal. It was a mural in a local Ahwa. In the black and white picture, you can see Am Mustafa, the owner of the cafe. And the second picture on the right is Safinat Nuh, so Noah's Ark. And while I was working on these pictures, what was really important for me, so I come from painting, and which is a very solitary kind of artistic practice. And working in Cairo in street art made me very much more aware of the communication aspect of street art and the awareness of the community. And as I was working in Khalifa, it was really important for me to work with images that connected with the people who were seeing those images, who are seeing those images there. So they're every day. So I was working with images from Geir Anderson's book, which Geir Anderson was a English officer who collected stories from the area and had them illustrated by a local artist. So these images are very well known to the people from the area. And by using some kind of visuals from these stories and connecting them with my own drawings from the area, I was kind of trying to create layered images that were speaking to the rich history of the area, to the mythology, the legends that have been told in the place since, hundreds of years, and connecting to the present, to the realities of people living in the area. So there is this idea of layers, and out of this project, I was, after creating the murals that I just shown, I was asked repeatedly, I was offered an opportunity to work again, and I didn't really have an idea. And at what else could I do, or what kind of how could I push this? And around that, like maybe 2-3 years ago, I have been acquainted with the augmented reality technology. And out of this came the idea of creating augmented murals. So murals that have a story, a little bit stories, maybe a little too much said, but that have an augmented layer of a video that can be viewed through the mobile phone. I've been working with the Artivive app because it creates a very good user experience, and it's also very accessible. So I think all of the smartphones that I have seen, also from the people. Oh, sorry, this video is not very well. So the local people were also able to see, which is not the case with all augmented reality apps. I've been working with Adobe Area. We'll show you a few other projects, and this has not been very well. Sorry. For that, it was not accessible for all the phones. So Artivive is really good because it allows everyone to see, to access the work. And augmented reality, so these projects are 5 murals which are placed around Al-Kohya Mosque, creating kind of a little looped tour, very close to also Ahmed Ibn Tulun Mosque. So it's very, you can see these murals from partially from one another. So here you see the big one on the right and the bigger one on the left. And what I really appreciated about augmented reality is that it allows me to add another layer to my work, connecting the past a little bit more with the future through those applications, and add a layer of color and animation, because one of the things that a lot of people from the area wanted or wished for in the work was more color, and I usually work very black and white. So seeing those images through the phone being colorful and gave a lot of joy, and I got a lot of positive feedback for that. And it also has this kind of like treasure hunt aspect, which really engages people. So a lot of people like seeing one person looking at someone viewing through the AR straight away wants to engage and see for themselves, and then they go to the next project, and so on and so forth. And the other thing that was really important for me was that working in this area, which has such a rich history, but is quite neglected right now, creating this project, which in terms of like what's happening in Cairo right now, is quite innovative, like it hasn't been done before, is also creating a sense of pride for having interesting new innovative projects happening in the area, and people coming to check them out from outside. There's a lot of also it's quite shareable on, let's say, social media. So a lot of people got engaged and interested in coming to the area, finding these murals and seeing it. So this was the project that I wanted to show in the biggest part. And for me, the outlook for the coming projects is I have been working with Adobe Aero in creating 3-dimensional sculptures, which is a little bit more of a personal project, less, let's say, engaged and engaging and ready. But sculptures that connect to the architecture and the motifs of Islamic architecture and the sites in Cairo. And sorry. And on the other way, working with a more immersive experiences. In 2 weeks, I'm having a projection with storytelling with Shirin Al Ansari, who's a storyteller. She's going to be telling stories from Al Khalifa area, and I'm going to be doing live animation on historical site. So this is kind of like another media project that is going towards like a more creating more immersive experiences in Islamic Cairo. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Agnes, for this very interesting presentation related to urban regeneration of a neglected neighborhood through arts and augmented reality. I found it very interesting the fact that you were relating to existing, actually, artworks which people familiarized with, but you tried to connect with their current situation and make them more colorful and playful and accessible for people to engage with in social media and in real life. It triggers lots of questions related also to how the community perceived it, how it engaged with it, and how they accepted the use of these sculptures in a religious shrine or mosque, if I understood correctly.
So the 3D sculptures, as I said, it wasn't a project that was shared publicly. It's something that I'm kind of developing now. As for the murals, it was very well received actually for the community. And as I say, I think that augmented reality and these apps are really good because they are very accessible. Everyone has a smartphone, and even like, as I say, working with the tools that are kind of accessible for even let's say lower price or lower range like smartphones makes this accessible for everyone. And I think that people were like this was a big gain for me from the project, that I saw local people seeing, showing it, sharing it. There was one guy who's a driver from the area, and he was sending me TikTok that he did using with the videos. So this was, it really worked. And this was, I also want to say that for me, the important thing is to really engage the local community. I don't want to create work that is only accessible for foreign visitors or is only shared or interesting for foreign or let's say upper class Egyptians. So yeah, I consider this on this aspect quite a successful project.
Thank you very much, Agnes.